Alrighty, gamers, welcome into Nosaj Retro Time. Sorry, I'm still used to saying that, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, welcome in. I am Jay. Let's get into the gaming news for today. So, right here. All right, so I saw this somewhere the other day. This even made NBC News, which is like insane how like something so stupid goes into NBC News. Like, my thing about NBC News is it's an outlet that's like too mainstream, and so they'll like feed you stuff that you don't need to see. Like that's why I go to GameRant.com because most of it there is just ran by people writing articles, and most of the people in there they're pretty truthful from what I noticed on that website. That's why I've never had a problem with them, and that's where they're like my favorite source to go to. But it's a lot of what they have there, and you can tell it's a real news channel because they put up a lot of like stuff on there that um isn't actually oriented towards like important video game news, but it's still them. They put up like a lot of good video game articles, and that's why I like Game Rant. But like NBC News is too mainstream, so they'll take an article like this because they saw it everywhere, and it's because it's somehow a hot topic. They run it and advertise it on their news, and then it becomes this big thing amongst the whole world and stuff like that. I don't know. I just don't. I just think it's stupid. But do I want to read that? Let's see. All right, so I want to read this one here because there's other Spider-Man games I've played in the past that are better, probably a lot better than Spider-Man 2. So let's at least read this one. Best Spider-Man game of all time. Face Off. The winner revealed. Last week, as the much anticipated Marvel Spider-Man 2 arrived, we asked you to help us decide which Spidey game was the best of them all. It Peter Parker's and Miles Morales' new adventure on PS5, or does 2004 Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Shattered Dimension still hold a place in your heart? Or is it you, some of some is it or is your fave some other Spidey title altogether? So now after thousands and thousands of 1v1 battles, the matchup like Ultimate Spider-Man the matchup with matchups like Ultimate Spider-Man versus Spider-Man 2, Enter Electro, and The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spidey game, has been chosen. So, which title claimed the top spot as the greatest friendly neighborhood Spider-Man game? Drumroll, please. Of course. So, the problem with this is a lot of the people voting on this are people that are playing the newer games. They're not playing the old games. So anybody sitting there saying this, there's a lot of people from my era that grew up playing video games and no longer play video games. It's one of those things that like sometimes people that are gamers grow out of gaming and they get into other stuff. So some may say it is the recent bias is it is recency bias, but others like ING's wonderful audience will tell you that Marvel Spider-Man has already cemented itself as the greatest Spidey game of all time. Yes, with a 92% win percentage after winning 11,585 of its 12,587. See, right there. You even see that there's a whole like a little over 100 people voting. So there's over like a little over 100 people are voting for another game. Alright? That's how you know people are not voting what the best Spider-Man game ever was correctly. Because the people that are playing this will always say this is the best game. But to me, it's a much different scenario that I think is needs to be looked at. But this is just my opinion. Marvel Spider-Man 2 has been voted as the best game to ever star our favorite web slinger. We here at ING agree with the votes. We ranked Marvel's Spider-Man 2 as the best Spider-Man game as well. The only reason you did that is because it's a new, fresh game. Dude, I don't like this kind of stuff. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is a triumph. Insomniac just keeps getting better and better at Spider-Man games. We say in that ranking there is no disputing that it's more of the same to some degree, but improvements layered on top of excellent combat and web slinging absolutely make this a crowning achievement. Getting to seamlessly switch between Peter Parker and Miles Morales keeps the gameplay fresh, and the addition of web wings to help fly across the vastly expanded city alongside traditional swinging is a more godsend. Moreover, the story of Craven Hunt and the Venom symbiote is as impactful as it is exciting, with fantastic performance from the whole cast giving it a hefty emotional weight. The next one might be even better, but for now, as far as IGN staff is concerned, this is the best Spider-Man game ever made. Yeah, and then the thing is, like, about this. All right, so I just want to say something myself here, but if you take the original Spider-Man, because it's not even on this list, and you play that, you would kind of see what I mean about it, but they didn't do that here, and they didn't think about that. But like, this deserves to be higher up, in my opinion, because actually this one was the original one. And this one deserves to be higher up on the scale, because this is the one I remember playing, and man, I had a lot of fun playing this one. And why are all these new ones in the top 1, 2, and 3? Alright, this is ridiculous. This is why I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out and see if I can find copies of this for the 360. Because I still have the 360. And I'm going to play this for you guys, and I'm going to show you why I think these are the best Spider-Man games out there. You know, even if I can't, I might try to emulate it and show you guys that these are two of the best Spider-Man games that I have ever played outside of anything else. Now, you know, I want to play some of these others. Don't get me wrong. I want to play Shattered Dream. Shattered Dream looked like it was good. Web of Shadows looked like it was pretty decent. You know, those other two games look pretty good there, and I played this one too. But this doesn't deserve to be in number 9. This deserves to be up here in this area, because people are all taking these new ones because they know them very well and putting them in the top spot. This whole thing is all wrong. All right, it's completely wrong, and that's why I'm complaining about it right here, because this is not people. All right, so let me clarify this here. People are not playing the old games because a lot of this young generation will never play older games. That's just how it goes. It becomes a bit of a problem when you start saying these are the greatest games of all time. It's like taking Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and putting those two at the top, when we all know damn well that there's a couple games that are better than those two. Even though those are really good games, they're not the best Zelda games around. For me, the best Zelda game around is going to be Twilight Princess. And I've explained that in a video. If you haven't checked that video out, please do so. Alright? Because I have a top 5 Zelda, Legend of Zelda list I have. Anybody else would argue that, there's people out there that would argue that Wind Waker is better than Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom solely because of how the story is. Okay, people like me will argue with you that Twilight Princess is better out of all the Legend of Zelda games, or Ocarina of Time, because those are the two that set the game, that set Zelda the way it is now. Because I'm not gonna go into why, but this list is a bunch of bullshit. I think they should clear this list and go and revise this. And I think people should sit down. What they should do, and this is what PlayStation should do now, since people are being so vindictive about this, which pisses me off. They should take this one here, put them on a collection, and have it drop, so we can all play a remastered version of it to see how these are compared to this. Because I guarantee you, if you bring out a remastered version of this, you'll get people playing it, and then they'll see exactly why these two games are probably better than this. I have never touched these, and I have never wanted to, and sole purpose of it being directed towards modern day audiences. Okay, best way to say it, because you don't have two Spider-Mans in these two fucking games. All right, I'm a little pissed right now at this whole list because this is just stupid. All right, these two games right here don't have two Spider-Mans in it, and to say that they're this low in the ranking, fuck off. Fuck off. The new generation don't know jack shit about gaming, okay? Let's clarify that. The new generation don't know a fucking thing about gaming. What they need to do is they need to revise this list and then see, or remaster these. Please do so. Remaster them, bring them out to every console so we can all see what fucking Spider-Man is actually about. Please. And then they'll move up to probably somewhere here. Alright? I'm just clarifying that. Because when you bring out a remaster of a great game, what happens? It moves up again. Because people actually play it. Like Metroid Prime is a pretty high rated game for it being a fucking remaster. Alright? Don't give me shit about how, these new games are better than these two fucking games. Because these two fucking games rocked. They were fucking better. But no, by looking at it, you see here, we got a 78% and we got a 60%. Alright? Which is a bunch of bullshit. These people playing this don't know anything about these two. Alright? This is why this shit is bullshit. Alright? Remaster those. Bring those back out so we can all see what they're about. And then run a story off for the rest. Run a story into 3 and the rest of them. Because I guarantee you, if you keep upping the ante with those two games, Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, you are going to get a really, really good Spider-Man game. And even sitting there and swinging around the city, it was the best experience in a Spider-Man game I have ever had. Spider-Man wasn't flying through the air back then. I hate to break it to you, but that's New Age Spider-Man. Fuck this New Age Spider-Man. Fuck that. Alright? Go back to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Go back to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But I don't give a fuck about this young guy. What the fuck is this? People are messaging me. Okay, these are people messaging me. They've been doing it all day yesterday. These are fake profiles adding me on Facebook and then turning around and asking me for a gift card. I'll talk to them, and then at some point they'll say they don't want it. I'll be like, "Do you want money? Do you want a gift card?" And they'll tell me no. And then later on, they usually end up asking for a gift card or money. Just a bunch of fake people trying to get something out of somebody and steal from you. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Because they see me as a target for some reason. I don't know what it is, and I don't know why, but they've always seen me as a target. Like these people literally. And they literally see me as some sort of target. I don't understand why. And that's the way it's always been with me. These fuckers in this city, they've always seen me as a target to get money out of. And it never works for them. And it's like every time I show you guys, you just try to do something else. and I'm still your target, but you're getting dumber and dumber, and you're showing why you're dumber and dumber. You're not getting any smarter when you do this over and over and over. And I hate to break it to you, but this is the 50th failed attempt that they have done towards making me into their target. This is why I don't like people. They fucking make me into their target way too much. I think, okay, so let's get back to this. I think it's safe to say Insomniac has the formula down for making Spider-Man games that resonate with millions around the world, as Marvel Spider-Man from 2018 and Spider-Man Miles Morales followed right behind the sequel in spot number 2 and 3. Winning percentage of 88 and 80.3% respectively. I don't know, man. Such a lie. Like, they need to remaster those two Spider-Man games, or remaster them all, and allow us to play them all, so that way we can get a feel of what is the greatest Spider-Man game ever. There is also an undeniable love for 2004 Spider-Man, and that Spider-Man 2, and that was echoed in the vote as it placed for just ahead of the Ultimate Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2 was the game for many that most of us feel like Spider-Man before Insomniac came along, and it took it to new heights. Exactly. What they're explaining is exactly why I'm a little pissed off at this list. Alright? Rounding out to the top 10 were Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Spider-Man Web of Shadows, 2000 Spider-Man. This one should have been up there too, but they didn't even, screw this list. 2002 Spider-Man and Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage. On the other side of the web was Atari's 2600 Spider-Man. I didn't know they did that, which was actually the first game to ever feature Spidey. Well, it may have only reached 13.6% win percentage. It will forever have the honor of being the first to bring Spider-Man up to the world of video games. Right behind that was Spider-Man Toxic City, The Amazing Spider-Man, and Captain America in Doctor Doom's Revenge. The Amazing Spider-Man 3, Invasion, The Spider-Man Slayer, The Amazing Spider-Man Web of Fire, The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes, The Spider-Man Battle for New York, 1990s The Amazing Spider-Man for Game Boy, 1991's Spider-Man, the video game, 1990s The Amazing Spider-Man, Jesus. Many of these games are from many years ago, way back before the tech was there to let us truly become Spider-Man and swing through the streets of New York City. While a lot of these games without the freedom to swing around the city are still great, it's hard to argue with the fact that we all just love swinging around in open worlds so much. Are you wondering where your favorite Spider-Man video game landed? Maybe Spider-Man Edge of Time. It placed 11 for all ranking. You can check out the full list where all 35 Spider-Man video games that competed in the face-off ended up. And you can watch ING's top 10 rank. Okay, so I'm just going to say this. I still don't like this list. And it's because these new age audience, they didn't get the chance to play the other games. I'm going to say that. If they would go back and play those original games 1 and 2, I think they would change their mind. I think that era, I remember playing those on the Xbox, and me and my dad were just sitting there. My dad was just impressed by like the way everything was within the game, because my dad worked around computers and he looked at graphics and all that. So that's kind of where I got my knack for it from. But the man looked at the graphics, and he even stated that he even thought it was impressive what they did with the game. A lot of people don't like take that kind of stuff into consideration, that there was an era of people that actually sat down and played those games. And the problem is people are so busy playing these new games, and I don't like the idea of the new games, because what the fuck is Spider-Man doing on a tag team anyway? Why is Spider-Man on a tag team? Alright, what does this entail for the future, to be honest? Because that's just showing us that Spider-Man now has a sidekick, alright? And if you go and through time again and look at everything, there is a Captain America video game out that was very good also that I suggest if you like superhero games. And it came out around the time of the superhero movie genre just really picking up, and it came out in like I want to say early 2000s, like around 2010, 2011 or so. And it was just a really impressive Captain America game. It led you through all of Captain America's comics and stuff like that. And everybody forgets this game exists. So here, let me see if I can find this. So this to me, like, if we go and all right. So yeah, Captain America Super Soldier was a very good uh Captain America game. It came out for everything. I might actually end up getting this, try to get this one on the Xbox 360 also. But it was a very good game that was about Captain America, and it led you through all Captain America scenarios within the comic book universe. But they took it from the beginning of the movie. So it kind of starts off just like the movie, and it goes into Winter Soldier. All the movies you can think of, they made this game based on that, and that's why I still find this game really really impressive. But everybody forgets this game existed, and it got a 7 out of 10, sadly enough. But it's still worth to play. Like it's still really good in my eyes. Like I liked it back then, but I didn't. It wasn't mine. I was playing. It was like he wasn't really a he was kind of like I wasn't married at the time, but he was kind of like a brother-in-law of mine because we lived the girl I was with, we lived together for a while, and he got that game eventually because I got into superheroes, and I sat down and played it with him, and it's really really good. It has the same mechanics as as Spider-Man does. So if you're looking at games, if you're looking at games related to mechanics of Spider-Man and all that, that game there is probably one of the closest thing. And if you're looking at games kind of close to Batman Arkham, it would also be that Captain America game because you're fighting multiple at once. And that's why the mechanics in the game are just very impressive to me. The story's impressive. I'm gonna go back and probably try to play that. There's a bunch of games I'm gonna be looking at to getting at for the Xbox 360 soon. That probably next month sometime I'm gonna start getting a couple more games for my collection down here, and for one for the Nintendo Switch, so I can actually play some games and play some older titles, some newer titles. But I definitely want to try to start collecting for the 360 because I have it, and I played it once. I played it a couple times, but I don't have games that I really care for it. So when I have a game that I really really want to play, I'm going to end up playing games on the 360 in the near future. So all right. Mortal Kombat 1 players are angry over seasonal fatalities, microtransaction. They put microtransaction in this? What? That's a bunch of BS. Mortal Kombat 1 reveals a unique Halloween fatality coming to the game, but the reveal has left players frustrated and upset that it is only available as a premium microtransaction. For NetherRealm Studios and Warner Brothers, Mortal Kombat 1 has proven to be a big success, especially with regards to a review, which helped propel the game as one of 2023's highest rated titles. Yeah, so there's a good chance with this we could. I mean, it's gonna. I'm just saying this as my standpoint, but there's a good chance we could see this on Game of the Year because of how highly rated it got. Because like I remember when it first came out, everybody was just so excited about it. However, for all of the positive word of mouth that game has received to this point, the launch hasn't been a perfect one. Besides the frustration input lag issue, the Nintendo Switch version of the game suffered from several graphical issues including character model lacking detail and animation, along with a host of technical problems on top of that. However, most fans have taken issue with Mortal Kombat's 1 reliance on microtransactions through cosmetic skins, and in one extreme case, requiring the use of DLC character to open a chest in the standard version invasion game mode. Things appear to be getting worse as new seasonal fatality has left fans feeling frustrated and angry. After fans discovered an upcoming Halloween fatality, Warner Brothers support confirmed the feature as being featured through Mortal Kombat 1 in-game shop later this week. With an expected arrival date of October 27th, the revelation left the player base upset, with many fans taking to social media to voice their displeasure on being forced to purchase a fatality in general. Many called out the game's $70 price tag, though others spent well over that for the premium and collector's edition. Some players like KP likened the move to what a free-to-play game would do, while also laminating the fact that Mortal Kombat 1 launched with less contact than previous games in the franchise. Coffee's all out right now. I'm feeling pretty good and I can read. Naturally, the Mortal Kombat subreddit saw plenty of activity following the news, with many players calling for others to vote with their wallets and referring to the move in a general scummy in general as scummy, with a wide variety of currency in Mortal Kombat 1. Some fans wonder why the fatality couldn't have been offered for seasonal coins rather than premium dragon crystals. Unfortunately for the game, this isn't the first issue to really anger the community. In fact, a recent update to Mortal Kombat introduced a number of fixes as well as character balancing, which meant a number of popular picks were seemingly nerfed. Cyrax, a hugely popular cameo pickup, was hit particularly hard by the update, along with Baraka, Melina, and Scorpion. The latter was already deemed as a lower tier option due to his low damage output, so many were confused as to why Scorpion was nerfed even further. Yeah, some of these games like this, they actually, let me just say that this reminds me a lot of like MMOs, where they go through and they'll literally go through and they'll nerf the hell out of one class or one race, and they'll go, and next season or next update they'll go and they'll nerf another race or a class. And you see that a lot within the MMO community because it's just how everything's done. They don't have a balance for them, and it's unfortunate because I've seen that done with Elder Scrolls Online, where one race or one class will be a lot stronger than the other. I remember when I was playing a while ago, they made a Sork, which was something I was playing in an MMO, stronger than any other creature out there. And the great thing about Sorks is you could stand far away, distance hit them, and they'd be like hit pretty hard when you had them. It just goes to, it's one of those things that, like, I look at it like this. It's one of those things that's how the cycles go in these games. You can't really not have like one side stronger than the other. And you can always, the thing is, some of these games, they come out with one side being stronger than the other normally because they don't know how to put balance right into the game. They don't know how to do the they don't know how to do the balance in it, and that should be something these companies should look at. But they just don't do that because they sometimes they don't think like that. Now, there are like that's why I like playing games the way I do, because you're always gonna get somebody stronger than somebody, and that's just unfortunate, and that's how everything works. But not everybody, not everything in MMOs and all that is going to be equal. And just remember that if you're playing an MMO, there's going to be a moment where some class is going to be stronger than you, and you're just going to have to deal with it. And the one I always see be the strongest for me seems to be the guy that stands at a distance, is able to hit you, and that's that. If you were to like make that less strong, I think that would actually like be awesome. But like, yeah, we don't see that too often. So unofficial Starfield community patch fixes bugs and broken missions. Alright, unofficial Starfield community patches fix bugs and broken missions. Alright, a group of talented modders in Starfield modding community have released the first community patch for the popular new spacefaring RPG. The expansive patch aims to fix a vast array of bugs in Starfield, from small typos to inconsistencies to broken quests and major exploits. When the long-awaited Starfield released in early September, many fans were expecting it to be at least a bit broken, in keeping with the reputation of Bethesda's RPGs for being buggy, stretching back to the early Elder Scrolls games. And while Starfield has been widely praised for attaining a higher level of polish than many previous Bethesda titles, it is not without its fair share of technical issues. Some of these bugs can be quite assuming or even beneficial for players, while others have been a source of irritation. Now, even with official modding tools, Starfield's still months away. Even now, even with official modding tools for Starfield still months away, a team of modders have gotten together to create the ambitious Starfield community patch, a huge collaborative project that aims to tackle as many of the game's bugs as possible. The patch, which can be downloaded from Nexus Mods, is still developed and expanded, with the current version being listed as version 001. But the list fix contained within it's already quite impressive overall. The patch aims to tackle issues such as a script error, misplaced objects, faulty missions, game-breaking exploits, spelling errors, and more. The mod's description makes clear that it will not include any content balance changes or tweaks that are not in keeping with original visions for the game. Among the fixes described in the version 001 changelog, over a dozen typos, a couple of perks that have had their effect changed to match their description, several UI errors, and a few broken companion behaviors. While all these fixes will surely help contribute to a smoother player experience overall, the issue being tackled are fairly minor. Larger bugs that break host quest or cause the city of New Atlantis to disappear will have to wait for the future versions of the patch. It would seem the Starfield community patch continues a long tradition of unofficial patches for popular Bethesda games, fixing a wide range of issues and promising to address many more as development of the mod progresses. Given the massive amount of procedural yeah, whatever, generated content in Starfield, it's likely that many more unexpected bugs and inconsistencies will continue to be found in and documented by players as the game is explored, ensuring plenty of work ahead of the dedicated modder developing the community patch. So there's supposed to be some mod engine coming out for Starfield. That's what they were talking about, and it's not out yet. But modders are already like working on it somehow. I don't know how, but like there's usually a way. Oh wow, hey, this is pretty cool. Mario Party 3 gets Nintendo Switch Online expansion release date. All right, so I'm gonna be sharing this one over to fucking. I'm gonna share it over to my Hold on. I'm gonna share this over to Twitter, X, Cross, whatever. That's fucking wild. I am actually pretty happy for that one because I want to play Mario Party. I haven't played Mario Party in a while, but this. I wonder if this allow on this. I wonder if this is gonna work with online capabilities. I'm hoping it does because that would be really really cool if it does. But we're gonna get back to the article. I want to read about it and then I want to talk about it because Mario Party 3. I remember when the first one came out. I had so much fun with that, and it's because I'd always play with my sister or like a family member or even my cousin because the friends around my area, they were a little bit further away. So as when I got older, when I went to go hang out with friends, we wouldn't play games like Mario Party. We'd play Mario Kart instead, which is, in general, Mario Kart will always be like king of games in my well, one of the kings of games in my opinion because Mario Kart is and always will be a great memory of my past in video gaming with my friends, and Super Smash Brothers is up there too. So, I might actually make a video on this later today. That reminds me. All right. Mario Party 3 gets Nintendo Switch Online expansion release date. So, all right. 12 hours ago this got published. Fan favorite Nintendo 64 multiplayer game Mario Party 3 is finally making its way to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack service. Mario Party 3 is one of the several games Nintendo promised was coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service, but now it appears as though the third entry in the party game has finally has an official date. Nintendo Switch Online is a subscription service in which players can pay a yearly fee to access online multiplayer and a library of games from classic Nintendo consoles, among other features. The base subscription tier includes dozens of games from consoles like the NES, SNES, and Game Boy. The expansion includes all aforementioned consoles and also adds the Nintendo 64, Game Boy Advance, and Sega Genesis for additional price. Nintendo includes a curated library of games for each of their consoles and adds more each month. This week, the service is finally giving fans access to a classic party game. All right, Nintendo 64 game Mario Party 3 is coming to Nintendo Switch Online expansion on October 27th. The game will be available in Nintendo 64 app after an update on Friday. The final game in the Nintendo 64 trilogy will join the first two titles already featured on the service. Mario Party 3 is in the first Nintendo 64 game added since Excitebike 64 came to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack back in August. So yeah, I forgot that one came out too. So I don't have access to this because I don't want to pay the fee for the games, but like I might actually look into it and see see how much it's gonna cost, because if I'm gonna keep getting games from the Nintendo 64, because I did like the games on the Nintendo 64, I might actually consider it, because at some point I am gonna get back to playing Ocarina of Time again, and that's a game I'm definitely gonna hop on and play again. So while not as well received as the previous two entries in the Mario Party 3 entry the series, Mario Party 3 is still seen by fans as a worthwhile addition to the service, with some addictively fun mini games and unique boards. 1080 Snowboarding is another announced game that fans are waiting for Nintendo to add to Switch Online, but release date for the Extreme Sports Racer remains to TBA. The service is quickly filling in some more sequential retro titles, but Nintendo still won't commit to bringing GameCube games to Switch Online. With games like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door being remade and Metroid Prime being remastered for our consoles, fans are worried Nintendo will stop with the Nintendo 64. There are other directions the service could go, however, with hundreds of great titles, there are plenty of essential DS games ripe for the Nintendo Switch Online library. Not to mention, there are still holes in the existing console apps. For example, core Pokemon RPGs would be welcomed on both the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance apps. Still, with so many classic games in Nintendo's historic library, it will be exciting to see what comes to the service next. Alright, that's pretty cool. Alright. Yeah, 15 minutes, so I'll be reading probably 3 more articles, so... and then I'll get going. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom player builds... no, not that. Yep. Let's read what Counter-Strike 2 players are getting banned for. Counter-Strike 2 players are getting banned for a bizarre reason. Alrighty. Some Counter-Strike players have been banned for moving their mouse too fast. What? How? That's the purpose of these gaming mice, dude. Gaming mice are meant to be moved fast. It's just something that, everybody should just choose to accept. But we can't. We can't. We always have to complain about something. Something like minor. This guy's mouse is moving too fast. Look at how fast his mouse is moving. I'm gonna have to report him for that. Jesus Christ. These gamers, this is why I don't play games with other people, because they either bitch or they talk too much shit. And they tell you how you suck, even though you're doing a lot better without them screaming into your fucking ear. I've had that happen before. I was playing Sea of Thieves, and I was doing good. But anytime that motherfucker screamed into my fucking ear, that pissed me off, and it really made me mess up. Without his nagging ass voice, without his nagging bitching ass voice, I was doing perfectly fine. I don't understand the purpose of, any of what these people do online. The online gaming community just kind of sucks. And it's one of those things that, like, we need to chill the fuck out on what we're complaining about. With this is the proof. This is the exact reason why I don't play shit online. Because people want to bitch about everything, and then ban you for stuff. You win. Let's ban that guy because he won too many matches because he's too good. Shut up. Shut up, and you need punched in your mouth. All right. I'm not gonna go punch somebody in the mouth for saying that, but like seriously, like you need to have something happen to you that's gonna teach you a serious lesson. You need to be held down and struggle to get up. That's just how I feel about the whole thing. Because like, if you're gonna sit there and act like this, you gotta remember, people are gonna always have better equipment than you. There's gonna be somebody out there that has a super expensive Elite controller. You're not gonna have that. They're gonna have a better keyboard and mouse than you. You're not gonna have that all the time. You have to remember to endure the suck to get better at it. And that's what these people don't want. They don't want to work on getting better. This is the fucking most dumbest thing I've ever seen anybody get banned for. Counter-Strike 2 players have been banned for moving their mouse too fast. Dude. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go ahead and show this off. Alright. Give me a second. I'm gonna share this shit off because this is just dumb. This is dumb. Alright? This is the stuff that makes people say this is why we say gaming sucks now. This is literally the answer to why gaming sucks. Alright, we gotta get over this. We gotta get over this like factor of like being wimpy, prissy people. I'm gonna like, oh boy. This is why people that sit there and they don't normally play games hop into video games. Shoot. 1 second. I'll be right back to the stream. All right. Let's get back. Let's get back to the stream. I just somebody put this thing up. They were like, okay, so I'm not gonna. Where's my news? This right here was pretty funny. If a chicken is in a video game or movie, you know it's gonna be good. So I put a GIF up of Link throwing a chicken off of a really big hill to that statement, because that's just like, that's funny. Alan, Alan, I can't. Oh my. Today's already gonna be something else. I can tell, but at least I'm not gonna be mad about everything. I am laughing about stuff because there's some like sometimes when I see stuff like that. Where did my article about the Counter-Strike player go, by the way? It disappeared. It's like this right here shows an example of why I don't play games online anymore, because you have people out there that complain about this. Now, these people are complaining about a moving mouse. My complaint was I had a person play Splatoon with me, and I don't know why, but every time I did something, I don't know what it was, but they would be exactly where I was, taking me down. It was a girl that would follow me around, and I don't know what it was, but I felt like she somehow had mirrored me, and she was literally in Splatoon, following me around, and she would be the exact place. So anytime I'd go off and try to do my own thing, this fucking person, and I'm not mad if it was a girl, but I'm gonna say this. if you're doing that in a game, you're kind of cheating. Okay, you're kind of cheating. If you're mirroring what somebody does and knowing where somebody goes at all times, you're cheating. Okay, that's just a simple fact, and you should be banned for cheating at least. Because moving a mouse too fast isn't considered as cheating. What is considered as cheating is taking the most valuable player and finding where the most valuable player is, and then following them, and you having a dual gun, you having a gunfight in the middle of a bigger battle going on. And it turned out that they were good. I just don't know who the hell they were. And still to this day, I have them on my friends list. I can't remember their name, but when I was playing Splatoon with them, they were just so damn good. So there's a difference between just being genuinely good and having better equipment. And the worst part is getting banned for having good equipment is just stupid, okay? Let me clarify that. Some Counter-Strike players have been banned for moving the mouse too fast. This is a bizarre issue emerged online mere days after Counter-Strike 2 became Valve's lowest rated game, underlining how the shooter is still a ways off from being held as a high regard as its immediate predecessor. Originally released in late September, Counter-Strike 2 debuted with some truly impressive player numbers, having attracted around 1.3 million fans within hours of hitting Steam. However, the move to a new engine version also introduced some issues that Counter-Strike Global Offensive has long solved. This wouldn't have been that big of a problem if the game was a traditional sequel, but Valve positioned it as an outright replacement for CS:GO, prompting pushback from the fandom. The game's latest issue that surfaced online concerned its VAC Live anti-cheat system, which is apparently happy to issue bans to anyone who moves their mouse too quickly. Several fans have already taken to YouTube to bemoan this statement of affairs, demonstrating how setting their mouse DPI over 10,000 and moving the camera erratically will consistently result in a back van. That's stupid. The problem first came to light during the casual play warm-up periods, when seeing players engage in such harmless shenanigans is far from unusual. Some veteran players have theorized how this bizarre bug might stem from the fact that Counter-Strike 2 interprets erratic mouse movement as a form of spin botting, and a known cheating technique that relies on micro commands that, notwithstanding, they didn't even space that, most of the fans who have so far taken to social media to outline the issue have described it as an unacceptable oversight, although Valve has a long track record of reverting VAC bans in its games. Many affected players are unsurprisingly far from thrilled that they found themselves banned in the first place. This bizarre issue isn't the first VAC-related problem that the fandom encountered since the game's release. Earlier this month, it came to light that using AMD's anti-lag feature also consistently triggers bans in Counter-Strike. That particularly VAC bug still hasn't been addressed, although Valve confirmed it's aware of the problem and working on a fix. The company has yet to acknowledge the mouse movement bans as a false flag, but given the abundance of online advanced testifying to this issue, that seems like a matter of time. Apart from the unfair VAC ban, some players also recently criticized a removal of CS:GO's achievement from Counter-Strike 2. Those who prefer the previous Counter-Strike installment can still technically play by launching it as legacy version of Counter-Strike 2. However, Valve already confirmed it will be ending support for the future on January 1st, 2024. Counter-Strike 2 is available on PC. Yes, and I think I do think that playing these games on PC is a way better experience because the last time I played a game like this on a PC was Unreal Tournament, and that experience was a lot better than playing with the controller. Keyboard and mouse, for some reason, is a much different experience, but it's a lot, like, it's kind of a lot better. Alright. We already read that. So I didn't realize this. I heard about this, but I didn't read it. Because I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. I mean, it is part of gaming news, but all right. So it's 55. I got one. I can read one more article off here. World of Warcraft shares the top causes of death in classic hardcore. So let's read this. World of Warcraft shares the top causes of death in classic hardcore. Every month after the launch of World of Warcraft classic hardcore servers, Bizarre Blizzard shares the top 10 ways with that players have met their end in game. With Gravity taking the top spot on the list of devious deaths since the release of the classic hardcore servers of World of Warcraft, nearly 3 million player characters have fallen within reported mortality rate of 1 death per 1.5 second around the clock. Unlike standard servers of World of Warcraft, death is permanent in classic hardcore mode. Players that fall in battle or fall to their untimely demise can continue using the game's chat features as a ghost. Alternatively, they can transfer to classic era servers to continue playing as their character outside of the classic hardcore mode within the first day. Nearly 100,000 World of Warcraft characters died, while enemies such as Wendigo, kobolds made the top 10 list. They were not the only way players saw their tragic endings. In a 4-minute YouTube video, Blizzard revealed the top 10 ways of World of Warcraft classic hardcore players died since the server went live. The death toll is that, alright, and counting at the time of writing. Blizzard states that the falling off cliff or landing face first into elevator boss of place such as Thunder Bluff and Undercity was the lead cause of player deaths in classic hardcore mode. The list includes foes that killed World of Warcraft players within the first week, such as kobold miners and void walkers minions. In addition, 6 of the top 10 causes of death were in the Alliance starting eras of Ilwain Forest, Dun Morag, and Westfalls. Oh man, went too far. Despite PvP being disabled by default in classic hardcore mode, the Mech Gora duels made this list. These duels to the death in World of Warcraft have become a popular way of settling disputes between players and giving players a buff that shows their body count for others to take notice. However, between drowning and falling to their death, the natural environment of Azeroth itself is the deadliest enemy of WoW players. While some classes, such as shamans and warlocks, have ways to counter drowning, not every class has a way of countering an ultimately demise. With BlizzardCon 2023 around the corner, the World of Warcraft series is slated to get the most news at the convenient. Only time will tell what awaits classic hardcore players in the future. Alright, so that's it for me today. Yeah, we read a lot of interesting news today. And I still have a gripe about the Spider-Man thing, but that's just me. Um, there's a couple of things in here I'm gonna say, but eventually I'll get around to playing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and I'll talk about them on the channel because this is just something that I want to take into my own hands and look at myself because that there is those games were very, very great, and a lot of people don't understand how great they were for their time. All right, and it could just be we need updated versions of them, so we can remastered, updated versions of those, so we can play them again. But that's just my take on the whole thing. I'm done for the day, so I'll be back later with the video. I gotta do some stuff. And I'm gonna check some stuff out here. So take it easy and have a wonderful day. Keep gaming, and go ahead and like this if you like it.